Good day everyone. Welcome to this presentation. Let me start with my introduction. My name is Rajendra Patil and I am part of Enterprise Manager Product Management team. Our today's topic is 3 tips for successfully migrating mission critical databases with the safety net using Migration Workbench. In today's presentation, I will focus on 3 major areas. Number 1, database migration common objectives and challenges. Number 2, overview of Enterprise Manager Migration Workbench tool. Number 3, tools demo, and we will take questions at end of the session. To start with, understand database migration common objectives and challenges. There are 3 business objectives to migrate your databases. First objective is lift and shift your workload to Oracle Cloud. Suppose your organization is looking for business growth, and to achieve this growth, you would like to modernize your systems by moving all your application and database workload to Oracle Cloud. You may have already evaluated Oracle-based database service as your destination. Other possibility is you may want to shift all your application and non-CDB databases to new commodity hardware using as-is approach to fulfill hardware refresh needs. Second objective is modernize your application by re-platforming. Assume you would like to re-platform or upgrade to a new infrastructure like Exadata, which will bring operational efficiency by reducing a cost and additional security and compliance benefits. As a part of re-platform, you may want to migrate to Linux environment from Solaris, HPUX or AX. Third objective is bring innovation in your day-to-day operation to improve customer experience or to reduce the cost. You want to consider migrating to multi-tenant architecture, migrate from single instance to rack environment. You want to implement TD security or single sign-on for the users. You may have already evaluated XSCC, XSCS or autonomous database as your destination, which is going to help you in boosting application performance, scalability, availability, security, and ultimately helping you in achieving your business goal. Further, you may want to implement innovative solutions available in XSCC or XSCS platforms such as in-memory solutions, snap clone to create test masters to reduce the storage cost or time for the cloning requirements for the business, while you may reduce the IT expenses and operational cost by migrating, modernizing, and innovating application and databases. During this transition phase, there are many challenges you will have to address. Complexity is a major challenge in terms of identifying application dependencies and legacy setups. And with the complexity, there are greater risks, especially human errors, as DBA don't perform database migration every week. Time taken to copy big size database backups across the network. Simulating production like use cases in test environment. Multiple teams involvement in testing task. Achieving predictable, repeatable testing results. Meeting targeted performance benchmark. Having foolproof business continuity planning with enough testing ahead of your production migration. Your testing cycle results will give you early indication of how your production migration is going to shape up. Too often something unexpected comes up, and that's where it's good to have a safety net. An essential requirement for a business is to ensure that the migrated database at minimum perform at same or better after migration. Oracle Real Application Testing Solution help you there. Real application testing is integrated with Enterprise Manager Migration Workbench, which takes care of capturing SQL performance details from the source, testing replay, and comparing it with destination database. It identifies and report impact, detailing root cause, and provide tuning recommendation for regressed SQLs. Real application testing is a licensable product which is required at the source and destination database servers for on-premise migration and for cloud migration only at the source on-premise server. Migration Workbench is a part of Oracle Enterprise Manager solution and help you to automate consolidation, migration, and database analysis and their workload. Let's look at how it works from the conceptual level and type of migration it supports and how that benefit you and your business. Workbench offers rich set of features that gives tangible benefit for yourself and your business using Workbench. It simplifies physical and logical migration of on-premise or cloud databases with unified guided workflow for single or fleet of databases. Does dependency analysis and compatibility checks during the pre-migration readiness check. Expedite migration process by automating end-to-end workflow using REST API. Reduces migration downtime by providing a real-time progress tracking of migration. Improves the accuracy of migration by providing an automatic performance comparison of before and after migration workload using integrated SQL Performance Analyzer. Has built-in practice to improve migration performance and reduce the downtime during the migration. Provide highest level of security using Kerberos user authentication and transparent data encryption. Offers near zero downtime with zero data loss migration. Workbench is unique in the industry on what it supports, and we continue to add more support in each release. Did I forgot to mention, if you need extra help, our Oracle support is available as a part of SeptinNet. Using Workbench, you can migrate 11G to 21C container or non-container databases to various destinations like on-premise Exadata, commodity hardware, Oracle-based database service, XRCC, XRCS, or autonomous database. You have option to use data pump or transportable tablespace migration method. You can use Kerberos user authentication and transparent data encryption security during migration for the destination databases which are running on Linux operating system. There are many migration scenarios we support. These are the migration scenarios supported by Migration Workbench. Based on the destination platform and the business need, you can select either data pump or RMAN TTS migration method. For example, if you are planning for XSCC migration for non-CDB database to a new PDB database, then you have data pump as well as TTS migration option to choose from. Based on the business need, you can select migration method best suit for your requirement. Workflow shows here is end-to-end migration flow that Workbench performs. Workbench has three phases: plan, migrate, and analyze, as you see in the picture. You can initiate a migration activity by selecting a source and destination database. Source database could be 11G till 19C, non-CDB, PDB, RAC, or single instance database running on Solaris, Windows, AIX, or Linux environment. Similarly, destination database could be 19C till 21C, RAC, single instance, TDA, and SSO enabled databases running on XRCC, XRCS, ADW, or Oracle-based database services. Optionally, you can customize your migration activity with custom script running after the pre-backup, post-backup, or post-migration stage. You can do pre-migration readiness check of a source database to know if your database is ready for migration. Once you do pre-migration readiness check, you have options to schedule and submit the job based on your requirement. Any point of time, you can track real-time progress of migration by viewing the deployment procedure log. Once migration is over, you can do migration analysis using view analysis option, which will give you more detail on number of objects migrated or any errors received during the migration. Workbench offers pre and post migration performance comparison and gives you a detailed analysis on SQLs which are improved or deteriorated after migration with recommendation to tune those SQLs. To carry out this analysis, Migration Workbench leverage integrated SQL Performance Analyzer, which is a part of Real Application Testing License Pack. Once business confirm migrated data is correct and system is performing as per agreed performance benchmark, DBAs can mark migration completed and later clean up the migration job. This is the plan phase of migration. Workbench gives you one-stop dashboard for creating a migration plan, customizing any migrations, tracking migration progress in real time. You will have ability to act while migration is in progress. You can pause, resume, or cancel entire migration workflow. This dashboard gives you a summary of successful, failed, or scheduled migrations and maintain historical data for diagnosis and tracking migration purpose. Workbench offers pre-migration analysis of a source database using integrated pre-migration readiness check for data pump or TTS migration. Pre-migration checks such as checking of scheduled or cron jobs which might impact during the migration process, count of objects, status of objects, database table space status, tools installed and used in database, character set and time zone of database, object compatibility for a destination database version, deprecated object types or features, stale object statistics exist in your database which is going to impact your migration activity or performance of the migration process. With pre-migration readiness check, you get a severity-wise recommendation with activity checks which are passed, failed, action or review required. Using readiness check report, you get to know if your database is ready for migration and if not, which are the areas you need to work on to address those issues. Now, final phase of migration, which is analysis phase. As a part of database migration from the workbench, you can do step-by-step phase-wise migration analysis. Like pre-migration analysis, Workbench also offers post-migration analysis of a destination database. Post-migration analysis checks if any scheduled DBMS or cron job which needs to reschedule, object count, status of objects, object record count, character set and time zone of database, size of database which DB need to validate before database is released to business for testing. You will get input validation, pre and post migration summary with severity wise result breakup with detailed analysis. Based on the severity, you are expected to take action in order to fix any errors. For any failed object, you can get more insights and the reason for the failure. When satisfied with the migration analysis, you can check performance of migrated database. To avoid ending up with performance degraded database after migration, we carried out below steps. You run a SQL Performance Analyzer on a source, capture performance information, migrate the database, run SQL Performance Analyzer on migrated database, and analyze the performance. All these activities are done automatically within Workbench using integrated RAD tool. There is no need for any manual intervention during migration process. SQL Performance Analyzer can review and help correcting any SQL performance issues. Workbench provides HTML-based JET report which you can download. Using this report, you can get a breakup of impacted workloads such as improved, regressed, unchanged, plan changed, or unsupported SQLs, etc. You can review top 200 SQLs with positive or negative impact. Workload project. The report projects overall impact on the workload due to elapsed time, CPU, user IO, or physical IO time. For rigorous SQL statements, SQL Performance Analyzer provides relevant improvement recommendations. This way, you can remediate any negative outcome before the end user get affected. You can automate this report using REST API. There are multiple choices for you to migrate your database via UI or REST API automation. All functionality in Workbench can also be accessed through REST API for easy integration with your third-party tools. Workbench help you to create and copy pre-filled JSON to integrate with third-party tools. Like UI, Workbench fully support migration via REST API tools. Workbench create pre-filled JSON payload file which can be modified based on your requirement. Example shown here shows database migration via REST API using TTS migration. The sample payload and output contain example via validation phase, migrate phase, wave analysis phase, and compare performance phase of a migration workbench. Let us see demo of migration workbench now. To access migration workbench, let us log into Enterprise Manager. You can access database migration workbench from Enterprise Migration and Consolidation menu. This brings up activity page for migration workbench. Activity page is a powerful tool for DBAs from where they can control overall migration activities. For today's demo, we will migrate 12C non-container database on-premises database, which is to a 19C pluggable database using RMAN TTS migration method. First step here is to create new migration activity using activity page. Provide migration activity name. Select either full database or tablespace migration. Provide source database from the list of the database which are already discovered. Select destination database. You can create new pluggable database or you can use existing pluggable database. For this demo, we are going to create new pluggable database. We have container database prod 19C which is already exist on destination server. Provide PDB name, administrator username and password. Select migration method. We have selected transportable tablespace migration method. On activity page, provide source and destination database credentials and host credentials. On transportable tablespace action, provide working directory and destination working directory and provide encryption password. Select table spaces to be migrated. We offer multi-phase migration using create backup and single phase migration using complete migration method. In multi-phase, you can take multiple incremental backups and then plan for your final migration. Compare performance. Migration Workbench allows to compare the performance of source and destination database. For that, we are creating SQL training set and using AWS report or existing SQL training set. We can create a performance comparison report. If there is any customization, you can select this here. Review the inputs which we have provided so far. Using check migration readiness, you can do source database pre-migration readiness check. Pre-migration readiness checks carried out set of pre-migration checks against source database and provide success or failure of the results with severity-wise advisory recommendations. You can proceed with validation activity. Validation activity carries out pre-checks validation for source and destination logins, database statuses, and disk space and privileges. Validation check has passed 20 checks and those are all green. Let's submit the migration. You can submit the migration immediately or you can schedule it. You can do view JSON to use JSON file. This is a pre-filled JSON file for any of your further migration. You can just change source and destination database and credentials and you can submit any migration using REST API. Migration activity submitted successfully. Let's go back to the activity page. Activity page starts showing newly created job. This is the full backup job. You can view procedure activity along with details of output of each step. Initial full backup job is completed. Now you can submit incremental backup using complete migration update backup option. Incremental backup job is successfully completed. Now we have options to submit a final migration using complete migration button. Full migration job is completed now. Next step is do view analysis of the migration activity. Using view analysis, you can check before and after migration validation which are carried out, overall status of migration activity, any errors or warnings reported during the migration. Like pre-migration analysis, Workbench also offered post-migration analysis of a destination database. You can view input validations which are carried out, pre-migration checks which we have carried out as part of pre-migration analysis and post-migration analysis. Using post-migration analysis, you can check the results which are the action required, specific impact and a recommendation from the report. Once you are confirmed with migration analysis, you can check for the performance of the migrated database. You can see the performance analysis using view performance. Using SQL Performance Analyzer report, you can check overall workload impact. Overall workload impact you can see after this migration is 56.4%. There are common SQLs, there are improved SQLs, and there is no regress SQLs in this. You can see the details of each SQL IDs and execution plan for each SQL ID. You can mark migration completed once you have confirmed everything looks good. Migration activity is completed successfully now. You can see 12C database is migrated to 19C database as a PDB. We have migrated using user interface, but same flow is available for REST API and also for Exadata XSSE or autonomous database migrations. Summarizing, Migration Workbench is end-to-end solution that enables you to migrate databases successfully with a variety of benefits for the DBAs and your business. As you have seen, plan, migrate, and analyze are 3 tips for successfully migrating mission-critical databases using Migration Workbench tool. In planning phase, identify source database and destination database to be migrated. Decide if you want to use API, CLI, UI for migration. Utilize in the built-in database best practices for the migration and parameters to optimize the downtime. In migration phase, customize, schedule, pause, resume, monitor migration process. And in analyze phase, you can analyze for the desired performance by deep insight into performance comparison of before, before and after migrated database using SQL Performance Analyzer and tune as per given recommendation. Overview of Migration Workbench. There are a lot of resources that you can check out. You can try out Migration Workbench on Oracle Live Lab to get hands-on experience of a tool by scanning QR code to learn how migration of Oracle database using Migration Workbench works and help DBAs to automate migration. Thanks for your time, and now I'm happy to take questions.